What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. The video today is new release review where I give you my thoughts and opinions about the most recent brand new releases. Are they worth your time? But most importantly, are they worth your money? There's a lot to discuss in the video today, so I am going to begin with the Nightmare on Elm Street 7-film collection set on 4K. Now, when it comes to the Nightmare franchise, I don't have huge nostalgia when it comes to this franchise because it's not a franchise that I naturally gravitate towards. I am a recent watcher of all of these films. And I enjoy some more than the others. To me, the Nightmare franchise is very inconsistent. By the time we get to Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, to me, Freddy Krueger is not a scary character. He's actually kind of comedic, and that kind of defeats the purpose of this character and also the franchise. Now, for me personally, the two best movies, and I think everyone can agree with me on this, is the first film and also the third film, Dream Warriors. Upon rewatching the franchise, though, I will say that the fourth movie, which one is it? Dream Master. I don't know why they named it Dream Master and then Dream Child for the fifth film. They could have come up with something different to kind of, differentiate just a little bit. But the fourth movie, I really enjoyed rewatching it again this time. So that was nice. And then I know a lot of people are major fans of Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and I can absolutely see that. But for me, with New Nightmare, it kind of gets a little bit boring in bits and pieces. There just really isn't a lot of action happening and a lot of scary, frightful moments. Maybe I'm alone on an island somewhere with that. So the two top movies for me personally are the first and the third. And like I said, I feel like the majority of Nightmare franchise lovers would most likely agree with me on that. Now, as far as the 4K transfer, how is the transfer for all of these films? And the major question, is this worth picking up? Is this worth the money to you guys? Because if you're a fan of this franchise, most likely you probably already own all of these movies already, either on DVD or on Blu-ray. So when it comes to the 4K transfer, I do have to say that once the fourth movie kicked in, the 4K transfer was very noticeable in a great way from that point moving forward. Now, we did receive the standalone 4K release for Nightmare on Elm Street, and that is a solid transfer. It's good, but in bits and pieces, it's not as strong. It's not a consistent transfer all the way through, I would say. And I feel the same way with the first through third movies. The first three movies, I would say, are all on the same level. But once we kick in with the fourth film and forward with that, it's a noticeable difference, at least for me. I'm not sure what other people have been saying about the 4K transfer of this franchise, but for me personally, once I watched the fourth film, and I believe that is the movie that has a lot of like green and like neon green or something, it's very noticeable in a great way. And so I honestly do think if you are a major fan of this franchise, it is worth picking up. You're going to want this in your collection. And I had a great time rewatching all of these films. I still think Freddy's Dead is so gosh darn awful. That is the worst movie of the entire franchise. But usually with every horror franchise, except for Scream, in my opinion. To me, Scream and Evil Dead are the two most consistent franchises in the horror genre. But other than that, every other major horror genre always has like the one or two movies that just aren't really that great. And Nightmare has those as well, but as a whole, I'm becoming more of a fan of the Nightmare franchise. So I'm looking forward to watching this again, most likely next spooky season. So I would definitely pick this up as a fan. Wait for a sale because I know this set is a little bit pricey. Absolutely wait for a sale. There's also the 4K Steelbook option as well if you do prefer that. Next from Warner Brothers, we have F1 the movie. I don't think I need to talk about this film anymore because I feel like I've been such a huge champion of this movie ever since it debuted. It's an amazing film. It's a throwback to sports movies where I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s. And we really don't get movies like this anymore, as I've mentioned in the past. And so this was such a pleasure to rewatch again, and my mom finally got to watch it. We had a lot of fun. My uncle was visiting, and so he rewatched it as well, and we had a great movie night. The sound quality is amazing. It looks fantastic, so don't sleep on F1 the movie. It is one of the best films of the year. I'm so happy that I have this in my collection. Okay. I just rewatched this film last night. It is Weapons. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are going to ask, did my opinion change when it comes to Weapons? Because when I watched it in the theater, it's not like I didn't enjoy it. I did. But I just was not feeling the same way as a lot of other people that were just really hyping up this movie, saying it's the best horror film of the year. And to me, Weapons is the most overhyped film of 2025. And that movie last year was Longlegs. It's on the same level as far as the marketing and people just reacting to this movie, saying it's the best movie they've seen of the year and it's the best horror film. Like, I personally do not agree with that. There's a lot of elements about this film that I really do enjoy, that grab my attention, that keep me captivated. When the film starts off and we are following the character of Justine, who is the teacher of the classroom, I love her storyline. I love everything that we're diving deep into with her character and her demons and what's happening. And as the different character chapters move on, I just felt like it was too many and it was not as necessary. I feel like if the script was reconfigured somehow, leaving out the cop character and also the junkie character, to me, those were the two focal points in the middle that just were not necessary. It was just a waste of time. And because of that, Weapons runs a little bit too long for me. I feel like in the middle with the character chapter stories, we should have focused in on Justine, Archer, played by Josh Brolin, and then the high school the school principal. And that is it. We had to cut out the other two, and everything would have been more condensed. And possibly if we kept out the other two characters, the cop and the junkie, maybe we could have incorporated a little bit more backstory into the character of Gladys, who is such a major factor, obviously, in the third act of this movie. I feel like we just don't get enough information about her. We don't understand really like who she is or her, like I just wanted a little bit more because yeah, she's being dropped in bits and pieces kind of, and then she's focused in the third act, but I'm just not getting a lot of backstory and history, and I just wanted that. And I know some people are going to say, well, you don't need answers for everything. I know that. And there's already talk of a possible prequel with the character of Gladys. But we shouldn't have to have a prequel if we're given that information in the original film. You know what I'm saying? So if I were to reconfigure everything, that's probably the direction I would go. I don't hate the movie. I just believe it runs a little bit long And there's a couple of storylines that just are not necessary, because if we took out the cop character, we would have taken out that unnecessary scene with his girlfriend attacking Justine in the liquor store, and the bar scene with her and him having a drink. Like, there's just a couple of scenes that just were not necessary. So eliminating that, to me, would have streamlined the entire film. I did enjoy watching it again. Of course, it looks nice on 4K. Do I recommend that you pick this up? Yeah, of course. If you really love the film, absolutely pick this up. This is only my personal opinion about the movie. So, did my opinion change? No, not really. I still have the same thoughts about it from when I watched it at the theater. Let's move on to Universal. So High Def Ninja sent over the 4K Steelbook for Nobody 2, and I was very excited because I was not sure whether or not I was going to receive this. And so when I did, I was very, very happy because I enjoyed this movie. So I feel like I'm on an island by myself when it comes to Nobody 2, because I just had a really fun time with this film. Now, granted, when I said I liked it more than the original, I was probably on the high, like just out of the theater watching a brand new movie. And I thought to myself, wow, this is a really great time. I loved it. So I gave it like a 4-star or something like that. And then a couple of days after, you kind of like reflect and you think back and you're thinking, oh, I gave that more stars than probably it should have received. So if I were to edit, I probably would end up giving Nobody 2 a 3-star rather than a 4-star. But you know what? Rewatching the film, I still had a great time with this movie. I know a lot of people did not really care for this. I was seeing other people reviewing Nobody 2 and giving it like a 2-star or a 2.5-star. I don't believe that. I think Nobody 2 is a solid 3-star. I'm personally giving it a 3.5 because I had a better time with it. So Nobody 2 is a good time. Sharon Stone is a great villain in this movie. I really enjoyed her. I wasn't really sure how she was going to work out before seeing the film, but after seeing it, she was just so into that part and she was chewing the scenery. And I love seeing a woman villain being so nasty and non-caring. It's so fantastic. And then Bob Odenkirk obviously coming back and kicking butt all over the place is wonderful. And I also like how with Nobody 2, the family is becoming more incorporated into what he does. So you obviously see his wife, and I'm thinking this is something that she used to do as well, because she just handled that gun. She's too familiar with it not to have any kind of prior experience. So I do believe that's how they met. She was kind of, on the level of what he does. And now their son is also kind of getting into it as well. Who knows? Is Nobody 3 going to turn into a family affair? I don't know. Maybe. That would be kind of awesome. Can you imagine the little girl? What is she going to do? I don't know. But I love Nobody 2. I loved it. I'm happy that I have it in my collection. Do I think you should pay full price? No. I don't think you should pay full price. It looks great, by the way, the 4K. Brand new movie. Of course, it looks great. So no problems there. Do I think you should pay full price for this? No. It's a steelbook. You don't have to pick this one up right away. So I recommend wait for a sale, but I do recommend adding it into your collections. Another one from Universal, American Pie. I mean, this is comedy gold to me. It is so great, from the 90s, pure nostalgia. I love rewatching this film. It is so funny. It just hits. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you need to laugh and have a good time, American Pie is one of those movies you can pull off the shelf and you're going to enjoy it. You are going to laugh, and you're in for a night of fun watching American Pie. So that is great. Now let's talk about the 4K transfer, because I am going to be completely honest. I feel like the 4K transfer of American Pie is on the same level as the 40-year-old virgin. It was not super fantastic to me. There were not any moments while I was watching American Pie while I was like, wow, that's outstanding. That's significantly better than the Blu-ray. So I feel like, total honesty here, I feel like if you own a prior copy of American Pie, if you own the Blu-ray, you don't necessarily need to upgrade to the 4K slip or the Steelbook. But I would say if you still have American Pie on, let's say, DVD or VHS, go ahead. Go ahead and upgrade it. But if you have the Blu-ray, either the standalone or the quadruple pack of all 4 of the American Pie movies, like the original ones, not those like other spin-off American Pie movies, but I also own the quadruple pack of 1, 2, Reunion, Wedding, and Reunion. There we go. If you have that, most likely you're going to be okay, but down the line, this isn't something to, really jump the gun on and purchase it right away. But if this is something that, down the line you're really interested in, definitely pick it up on a sale. You don't need to pay absolute full price for the 4K for American Pie. So wait for a sale. Christmas is coming. You could always put it on your Christmas wish list, whatever you'd like to do. But you can definitely wait on American Pie. The final item from Universal that was sent over, also from High Def Ninja, is The Bride of Frankenstein. This is probably my favorite Universal monster film that I have seen so far. I just absolutely love The Bride of Frankenstein. And what I really appreciate about a 4K transfer for these classic films is that because these movies are so old, if it was not for a Blu-ray or a 4K transfer, these movies would be gone. They would be lost, and we would not have them as a part of our film history. So whenever an older movie like this does receive a 4K transfer, I'm always excited. And it's not like a stunning 4K transfer, but it's a nice difference. I can see the slight differences because I did watch this on Blu-ray previously. And so I do see those differences from Blu-ray to 4K. I absolutely recommend that you put The Bride of Frankenstein in your collections. It is classic. It is the right time of the year right now. I know October is almost finished, but you still have a few more days. You have like over a week until October is done, until spooky season is over. So I would absolutely recommend The Bride of Frankenstein. You could wait for a sale if you want to, absolutely. Because remember, it's a steelbook. You don't have to worry about a slipcover. So I would absolutely pick this up. Gorgeous looking steelbook. 90th anniversary of this film. Absolutely incredible. All right, now let's move on to Kino Lorber. These are the last titles that I am going to be talking about. I was ecstatic to receive the 4K of The Bone Collector. This is one of my favorite thrillers of all time. I feel like it's kind of underrated because when it comes to thrillers, everyone talks about the same ones. Seven, oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now. Seven, that's the only one we talk about. Zodiac, all of those types of movies. But I feel like The Bone Collector is always kind of like pushed off to the side. And this is a fantastic film. You have a serial killer on the loose, driving a taxi cab, picking up his future victims. You have Denzel Washington, who unfortunately was paralyzed in a work accident. He still works and helps out the police because he just has a mind for tracking serial killers or, murderers and things like that. And then Angelina Jolie's character, she is kind of like a rookie, I guess, on the police force, and she's not really sure where she wants to be, but Denzel sees that she has the mind for this kind of work. And so he's really encouraging her to work on this case. And she's kind of like his feet on the ground because obviously he cannot be there. And so she is there in his place. Oh, it's so fantastic. It's so good. If you have never seen The Bone Collector, you have to. If you love movies like this, like Seven, Silence of the Lambs, that kind of, definitely watch The Bone Collector. And as far as the 4K transfer goes, I thought it was very solid. It didn't blow my mind, but I thought it was very solid. But you know what? I feel like Kino Lorber has like their own specific like style for a 4K transfer. I'm not really sure if that makes sense or not, but it's like I kind of feel like I always say the same thing when it comes to the 4K transfers for Kino Lorber, but it looks good. It's very solid. It looks good. You will not be disappointed with this purchase. So, Bone Collector, add it into your collections. This next 4K from Kino Lorber surprised me because I was not expecting to enjoy this film as much as I did. It is the brand new 4K for Rampage. And what's happening in this movie is that we have yet again a killer on the loose in the film. Very brutal, savage killings. He's just walking into neighborhoods, walking into homes, and brutally attacking people in the household. But that is not really what the film is about. Eventually, they capture him. They're going to trial. The main theme of the movie is, does he deserve to die? It revolves around the death penalty and whether or not he deserves to die or not. Like, is it a mental illness? Does he know what he's doing? Is he crazy? Is he not? And it's a very thought-provoking film. And not a lot of movies focus on that part. A lot of movies like this focus on the killer and what they are doing and the obvious trial that is going to come and what the verdict is. But it doesn't, very few films focus on death penalty, deserved or not. Should they spend the rest of their life in prison and be studied, or mental health facility or something like that? You know what I'm saying? So this was great. I love this movie. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. So I don't know why my screen is going wonky because of the slipcover, I think. There we go. I was not expecting to enjoy this film as much as I did. And so I really appreciated the movie for that. And I really, really enjoyed it. And my mom did also. So Rampage. This is another great movie from Kino. And as far as this 4K transfer, I actually did notice a lot of great moments in the film that looked fantastic. Also, this could possibly be a non-Christmas film because there's Christmas in the movie. Like, there's wreaths on doors and there's like Christmas trees around like in the background. So it's not the focal point. It's not the focal point of the movie, but it's there. So if you want another non-Christmas Christmas movie option for your holiday season, you can go with Rampage. So hopefully I helped you out with that. So this is a high recommendation from me to you. Pick up Rampage. If you need to wait for the Kino Lorber sale, when it comes back around, when you can pick it up, absolutely do it. It deserves to be in your collection. Okay, the rest are Blu-rays from Kino Lorber. So next up is the Blu-ray for Radioland Murders. What's happening in this movie? This is a very extensive, large cast, and they are putting on a radio show. And as they're putting on the radio show, murders are happening, and they need to find out who's doing this and what is the motivation. So I really thought I was going to absolutely love this movie because I love films like this, murder mysteries. That is my jam. I love, trying to figure out who done it, why are they doing this? And I thought the entire aspect of the radio show being done in the background is, a great different kind of storyline. So I was looking forward to watching Radioland Murders. And all I have to say, the entire time that I was watching this movie, it was so chaotic. The movie is so chaotic. and it's literally running all over the place, and all of these characters, there's so much happening all at the same time, all at once. It's kind of overwhelming, and I had anxiety. I had anxiety watching this movie. The same kind of anxiety I had watching Uncut Gems, watching The Surfer, same thing as Radioland Murders. It was kind of crazy. I do think this movie runs just a little bit long, even though it's only 108 minutes. I think because of like all of the chaos and anarchy that's happening, I just needed a shorter runtime. I feel like 90 minutes, they could have shaved off like 15 minutes or so. 90 minutes in and out would have been a little bit better. And it's an okay movie. It's an all right movie. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this one to you, like go out and buy it right now, but it was an okay time. I'm going to keep it in my collection for now, but you know, down the line, it could go. I don't know. If you are interested in Radioland Murders, though, I would absolutely recommend wait for the Kino Lorber sale. You don't have to pick this one up right away and pay full price. Wait for the sale when it goes down to $7.99 or $8.99, then pick it up. This next movie, I really enjoyed. I love a great or not so great. It doesn't have to be great. I just love an obsession film. So we've got The X. We have The X. I highly recommend this movie. If you love obsession movies just like I do, where the woman is so psycho crazy, she's obsessed with her ex-husband or ex-boyfriend, whatever it is, absolutely put this on your pickup list. So what's happening in this film, very self-explanatory. You have Yancy Butler. I actually remember her from other movies that I watched back in the day. So seeing her in this film was a little bit nostalgic. We have her character here who is completely, totally obsessed with her ex-husband, and obviously this is his new wife. They have a 5-year-old son in the movie, and of course she infiltrates, there we go. She infiltrates herself into their lives, and of course she targets the brand new wife because he never told his new wife about his ex-wife, and so she's completely in the dark about who this woman is, and she just gets in there trying to find out all this information, and she just goes freaking awesome crazy. I loved watching this. It was such a great time. The reason why I love movies like this is because they pretty much always hit the same tropes every single time. Every single time without fail. Pretty much all of these obsession movies are the same exact thing, just with different characters and, you know, different actors playing them. That's it. Like, that's really the only difference. But this is fun. This was a good time. Some people might call it cheesy Velveeta, like I like to say, but I enjoyed this cheesy Velveeta. I was eating up all the nachos on this plate because it was such a good time. So The X. If you want a different kind of obsession film, if you're tired of watching Fatal Attraction and The Crush, those are my two favorites. Also Fear. Fear is good as well. I like Fear because, you know, it's a guy with the obsession instead of the girl. So that's a nice change. We need more of those, in my opinion. But if you're tired of watching the standard obsession movies, go with The X, because this one was fun. And you could tell Yancy Butler here loved playing a psychotic because she just radiates all through this movie. So The X, this one was a lot of fun. High recommendation. Okay, the final movie from Kino is from their Kino Cult, like subline collection. It is called Death Packs a Suitcase. Okay, so this is probably my least favorite film that I did watch out of all of the brand new releases that I am talking about today. Not the reason why I left it for last, it just happened to end up that way. But it's this kind of movie just does not thrill me. So the storyline, the reason I chose it was because I thought based off of the description, it was going to be, you know, like another murder mystery type thing. Like this guy has been committing murders, and it's called Death Packs a Suitcase because before he murders someone, for some reason, he likes to pack a black suitcase of their belongings or something like that, and he puts it in the middle of the room where when the future victim walks in, they see it, and then they know, oh my God, I'm going to get murdered. And then like 2 seconds later, they're a victim. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like the hook of this movie. But after watching it, so I like the concept. I really do like the concept and the idea and everything. But the way this film is shot and the way the film is executed, I'm just not really a big fan of. When did this come out? 1972. As I'm watching movies, I'm tending to come to the realization when it comes to films from like some movies from the 60s and the 70s, I am just not the biggest fan of the directing style and how the characters are, being portrayed and dialogue. I don't know, because this is something that I've talked about with other movies from both of those decades. Of course, not every film was like that, but I don't know. This one just did not work for me. And so I already know I will not keep this around in my collection. Of course, I appreciate Kino Lorber for sending this over to me, but it just didn't hit. So this is not going to be the kind of movie that everyone is going to respond to. It is also a foreign film. I will say that. There are subtitles, and no, that is not the reason why I am saying everything that I am. This being a foreign film has nothing to do with that. It really is like the directing style. I just am not a fan of how this film was executed at the end of the day. And so I cannot honestly recommend this one to you. If you are interested, I beg you, wait for the Kino Lorber sale. Wait for this one to go on sale. Again, $7, $8.99. Then go ahead and pick it up if you're interested. But it just didn't work for me. It didn't hit. So it's probably going to leave in the future. That is the latest round of all of the brand new releases. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I truly do appreciate it. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts about all of the movies I talked about in this video today. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you next time.